That's a set of teeth, isn't it?
That is a set of teeth.
Now, if you were a dentist, you'd be fascinated too. You know? The gar was in Mississippi, and we went up on Easter weekend, and on the return back on Easter weekend in Alabama, my mother's farm, we decided we would rendezvous with the state of Mississippi on I-10, which gave them an opportunity to go halfway and for us to actually travel and bring the gar halfway. So that was nice. So we slid the thing from their vehicle to mine, the truck, which was kind of fun. You know, we did it in Sonny's barbecue parking lot, and there was a lot of people, you know, the public, they were pulling up saying, what is it, what is it, you know, so that was fun. And so we slid it into the back of the truck, and of course it was too big, and it hung way out the back, and you know, it was frozen. It had been frozen for like 2 months while they were trying to decide where they were going to send it and all that. And so I was really anticipating that we would bring this thing home, and in the ride home, it was all wrapped. I mean, you couldn't really see it, but it was, you know, it was exposed to the air, and we were just riding along on the interstate, and then of course all the way down here to Stuart, and that was about a 7-hour drive. And I thought, well, it'll thaw out a lot, you know, on the ride. And once we got here, it was like 10 o'clock in the evening, and it was really late, and the boys had set up a watering trough for cattle, 10 feet long, full of water, for when I got here that evening, and I'd anticipated getting here and everybody would still be here, that we could take it out of the back of my truck and put it into the watering trough where it could continue to thaw, you know, float and thaw out. Well, when I got here it was 10 o'clock and everybody was home in bed. And so I was fortunate that next door the turbo combustor technology guys were still working, you know, late shift, and the guys were on till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And so I went over there and I asked them if they would just help me, because 327 pounds, there's no way that I could have handled that by myself out of the truck into this trough and it not be a, you know, catastrophe on the ground. So these guys, they were so excited, and they came over and they helped me, and we slid it out of the truck, and it went perfectly into the water, you know, just perfectly landed into the trough. And we put covers over it, and I went home and got some, you know, really needed sleep. And the next morning we came in, we pulled the fish out, but when we pulled it out, it had been floating for, what would that be, like 14 hours or so by the time we got back here. And it was still very frozen. So we had this thing up on the table and realized, well, it's got to thaw some more. So we put it back into the water trough and left it for another full day. And we put ice in with it and really kept it nice and cool. Left it again overnight, so it got another 24 hours to thaw. The next day, which would have been Thursday morning, we pulled it out. Now it was perfect. Everything was nice, and it was really cold. It was like, you know, probably 50 degrees. So it really made it helpful to extend the time frame we needed to make the mold, because obviously spoilage is a concern, and we didn't want to lose, you know, the fish to spoilage before we got the mold made.